Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. When news broke of the icon's death, fans felt an echo of disbelief. How can she not be here? The outpouring of grief was immediate, widespread. But among all the voices, one in particular stood out because it came from someone who inhabits a space many of us hold dear, the Hallmark world, a place of warmth, sentiment, simplicity, hope. That Hallmark favorite is Holly Robinson Peete. She turned to Instagram hours after the news arrived, and in those photos and words she sent out more than a tribute. She sent a blessing, a memory, a testament. She began with a phrase that already aches to be read aloud. Some people you just can't imagine not being on this earth. Think about that for a moment. There are people, in our families, in our communities, in our lives, for whom the idea of absence feels wrong. Holly's voice echoed that sentiment because she knew intimately what many of us feel in our own losses. Her tribute was personal. She didn't just reference the icon's public achievements or famous roles. She allowed her audience to see the private intersections, the moments where their lives overlapped. She revealed that their children went to the same elementary school. She recalled Diane Keaton showing up to carpool, dressed impeccably as she always was, while Holly might have still been in sweats and a cap. That contrast, small yet human, is the sort of detail that cuts through glamour. Because grief is not about fame, it is about feeling the absence of a shared ordinary moment. Holly continued, a legendary actress, spectacular mother, and true fashion icon who lived and aged with such grace. Rest in peace. You were so loved. In those few lines, she drew the three circles many of us try to hold: professional achievement, personal identity, public impression. She acknowledged that the icon's legacy wasn't just on screen. It was also in motherhood, in fashion, in daily life. She was named dignity. She is named grace. She named it love. And the response was thunderous. Her post drew thousands of comments, tens of thousands of likes. Followers wept in the comment section. Some wrote, "I feel like I've lost a loved one." Others shared memories, glimpses of seeing the icon walking on the beach, generous and kind in quiet moments away from the camera. That reaction is a testament, not to celebrity, but to connection. Because when a public figure becomes part of our inner emotional world, their absence becomes personal. A little later, Holly added another post. This one featured a speech by Meryl Streep, given in honor of Keaton at a previous event. The video circulated anew. It let fans reflect again on the icon's light, her humor, her unmistakable presence. Holly's sharing of it wasn't filler. It was an invitation to collective mourning, to remembering together, to letting others say what we feel. Grief in public life is strange territory. We feel intimately close to someone we only really knew through images and performances. When someone dies, we clutch at things: photos, interviews, memories. We look for bridges back to them. Holly's tribute was one such bridge for many. It gave people permission to feel, to grieve, to remember. But there's another hidden strength in tributes like hers. They remind us that grief is also love insisted upon. When we lose someone, there is temptation to shrink back, to silence affection, to carry sorrow in quiet. But to speak, to name, to share, that is an act of defiance against forgetting. Holly did not allow the icon to pass into silence. She held her name alive. What else can we learn from Holly's words and choices? First, specificity. She honored personhood, not monuments. She told us how Diane Keaton showed up in the world, daily, beautifully, fully. The mention of carpool is not anecdotal fluff. It is the smallest aperture into the real life behind the legend. Those are the stories people lean on when big grief feels abstract. Second, vulnerability. Holly didn't pretend her grief was tidy or noble. She expressed heartbreak. She confessed she couldn't imagine a world without Diane. That humility invites empathy. It tells others it's okay you hurt. Because we do. Losing someone beloved is messy. Naming that mess, the disbelief, the pain, the tears, gives space for others to do the same. Third, tribute as invitation, not closure. Holly didn't try to tie a bow. She didn't pretend that the tribute ends the story. Instead, she offered an entry. Look at these photos, remember, mourn, celebrate. The post is less a final statement than a doorway. It says, "We are standing at the threshold together. Let's cross in memory." When a figure like Diane Keaton departs, the cultural aftershocks are huge. Her influence, the films she shaped, the roles she made her own, all become shards in a public memory. Others in Hollywood have since expressed their grief. Co-stars recalling laughter between takes, filmmakers lamenting a creative force lost, admirers pointing to how she changed aesthetics, how she tore open possibilities for women to be quirky, earnest, flawed, feisty, soulful. But what Holly's tribute highlights is something deeper, that within the galaxy of tributes, grief is not just a public spectacle. It is deeply personal. I want you to imagine for a moment being in Holly's shoes. She's a mother, an actress, someone with her own schedule, her own responsibilities. In the hours after the news, she chooses to stop. She chooses to gather her thoughts, pick the images, type the words, post, share. In that act lies love, duty, respect, memory. She turns outward when inward grief rises. That choice resonates widely because it mirrors what many of us do. We reach for expression when loss feels overwhelming. We should also notice something about timing. Holly did not wait. She didn't delay, fearing misstep. She responded quickly, with raw sincerity. That immediacy matters. When grief is fresh and raw, it pierces. A tribute given in delay can feel rehearsed or distant, but one given in the moment, when pain is sharp, carries authenticity. It tells the world, this hurts. It's not polished. It's not performative. It's real. And yet, even in immediacy, Holly offered grace. She didn't lash out at rumors or critics. She didn't inflate or overreach. She kept her tone warm, respectful, and appreciative. She honored legacy rather than amplifying pain. That is the alchemy of a good tribute. It balances authenticity with dignity, is its ripple effect. With respect. People who never watched a Hallmark movie or never knew Holly's name still saw her post. They read her words. They felt the weight. It became part of the cultural conversation. The way a single tribute can magnify loss shows how grief and memory cross paths with media and public consciousness. In Hindu tradition and many others, there's a saying, "Those we love do not truly die. They live on in us, in the stories we tell, in our memories, in the love we pass forward." Holly's tribute acts on that principle. She ensures the icon does not fade. She keeps the flame alive. But there's a caution too. Sometimes in grief, people feel pressure to produce perfect eulogies, statements, and artworks. The expectation can be crushing. Holly's post reminds us, perfection is not the point. Sincerity is. When you speak from the heart, your words matter, even if imperfect, even if trembling. As you will use this script to generate voice, consider the tone. Let sorrow squeeze through. Let admiration bloom. Let silences linger. After a line like, "I can't imagine her not being on this earth," pause. Let it breathe. Let the listener feel the gap, the absence. I'll close with something aspirational, grown from Holly's tribute. When someone leaves, when beloved voices fall silent, we have options. We can numb, we can distract, or we can remember, we can speak, we can share. A tribute is not just for the departed. It is for the living. It binds us, it reminds us, it gives shape to what pure grief cannot hold alone. So if you ever sit before a blank page or a blinking cursor, unsure how to honor someone you loved or admired, remember this. Speak what you see. Speak what you feel. Speak the smallest moment. The day you saw them standing in sunlight, their laugh breaking. Because in those details lie the soul. In naming them, you prolong the light. Let Holly's tribute be our model. Real, resonant, unafraid. Let us carry forward her words as a torch. Let the icon's memory live, alive in memory, alive in tribute, alive in our continuing stories. Rest in peace to the icon. Thank you, Holly, for giving us a space to grieve, to remember, to love. And thank you for reminding us that when someone extraordinary leaves us, the gentlest tribute is to keep telling their name. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.